Hey, it's Travis with WKDQ, and joining me, the
Hello.
one and only.
I am the Rob from 106.1 KISS FM, and I'm happy to be here.
Well, Rob, I have you here for a reason, because of everyone I know, you are the video game genius.
Oh, that's my area of expertise.
Yes, and that's why I have you here, because I got a Super Nintendo for Christmas.
What a great gift!
I know! It's the gift that keeps on giving.
If it came from a girl, marry her.
It did, actually.
I would say you should definitely scoop
Put a
that
ring
one
on
up.
it.
That's a winner right there.
Well, she got me a couple games to go with it, too.
My God, what are you waiting for?
I guess money.
Okay, sure.
That's a good one. So, she got me Super Mario World.
Oh my God, great choice.
Great choice. But it got me thinking once I was playing it, those games are much more difficult than the games that we have now for like PlayStation and Xbox, in my opinion.
Absolutely, yes. And you can go back even further because have you ever heard the term 8-bit frustration? That roots back to the NES days. So NES was the hardest of all of them.
I can see that, yes.
And because you're still paying like $50 for a video game back then, and the content was fitting on like 8 bits of storage. It was
Right.
small stuff. So they feel like if they made it harder, you would spend more time playing it, therefore you would get more content.
Right.
At least trick your brain into thinking that you had more content in a game even when you didn't. But yeah, games were notoriously harder in the 90s and 80s.
Well, see, my question is, because I've never been a huge video gamer,
Okay.
but I've played games growing up, and Super Mario World was one of the games that I played
Absolutely.
religiously.
I remember the day I got that game.
But since you've played it, you've probably beaten it
Sure.
a couple times.
Mhm.
Here's my question: with the digital era we have right now, you can get cheat codes anywhere. I mean, you can get books, you can get yada 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 for games on. But when you get a game like Super Mario World back in the 90s, I guess it was 93.
That was 91.
91?
91, maybe 92. It was-
Okay, but we didn't have digital, cheat codes or anything like that.
Right.
How did we figure out so much about this game? Because when you're playing it, I mean, there's like secret passages, there's secret keys to different worlds. How did
Absolutely.
we figure that out?
All right, well, we need to take this back a little ways. How old are you?
I'm 27.
27. Okay, so I got like 5-6 years on you. So there wasn't a Google and there wasn't, a cheat code central where you could just go and type in what game you're looking for and
Right.
it gives you these cheat codes. But we did have a little gem called Nintendo Power.
Okay.
Which was something that video game fans and Nintendo fans would, it was a magazine. It would come in your mailbox and there would be large portions of it dedicated to cheat codes.
Okay.
Or maps. Or strategy. Or
Right.
things like that. Plus there's also something called the school bus. And the recess yard. And the lunch table because everyone was playing Super Mario World
Right.
in the early 90s. Everyone was. And you would tell them, this is how I did this. This is how you get to Star Road. This is how you beat Star Road. You're never going to believe it, but there's a hidden world after Star Road. All that kind of stuff. You would, while you didn't have an internet, you had friends and you had Nintendo Power.
Okay.
You also had a device called Game Genie eventually. Are you familiar with Game Genie?
No.
Game Genie was for the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo, and there were also like weird things. But it was a little, it was a cartridge adapter. So you'd put the Game Genie in your Nintendo or your Super
Okay.
Nintendo, and then you'd put the game on top of the Game Genie.
Okay.
Before the game would start, you could put in like a 16-digit code, and the code would affect your game. Now, I never used Game Genie. I tried to do things the hard way.
Right.
But the Game Genie would come with like a manual and would say, Super Mario World, okay, invincibility, put in this code. To warp to this world, put in this code. And that was another way that people would kind of cheat to get
Okay.
further in games.
Now, with that being said, those games were difficult. They were much more difficult than the games you have today, in my opinion. And one of the games that I grew up playing was the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers video game on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, there were a few, and if you're talking about the one I'm thinking of, that's a great game.
Yeah, it was the original one where you select which Power Ranger you want to be.
Side-scroller, beating up.
Yes.
Okay.
So growing up, I never made it past level 2. I would get frustrated and I wouldn't do it. I played it with my girlfriend last night. She got to level 4. Never playing it before.
Sure.
Has that ever happened to you?
I've been beaten by my girlfriend in video games, but I think in general she would concede I am the better player.
Well, I mean, okay.
I've just got decades of experience on her.
So what have you found is probably like one of the hardest Super Nintendo games out there?
Hardest?
Yes.
Oh,
compared to games that we have today.
Well, I can give you a list of some of my favorites, like some of the must-have cartridges. Like, I would definitely recommend, my all-time favorite video game is a Super Nintendo game, A Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Okay.
That's an amazing game. It was Zelda at its peak. There is a game called Super Metroid,
Okay. Yeah.
which is almost just as good. It's every bit as good. There is no better Metroid game ever than Super Metroid. It's so much fun. And then the other one I would really recommend to everyone who has a Super Nintendo, since you already have Super Mario World, everyone should have the original Donkey Kong Country.
You know, I do have that, but it's not working.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know. Like, she had it when she was a kid, and she
Uh-huh.
gave it to me, and it's just not working right, so I don't know.
See, girls don't know how to take care of their video games.
That's probably what it is. But yeah, that's good.
It probably mixed in with her makeup and it spilled the nail polish remover all in the cartridge.
Seems to happen.
If you don't, if you give it a good blow, it might fix it up. But if a girl had it, it's probably going.
Yeah, sounds like a man.
So,
Anyway, another game, and I was looking into this, and it's super expensive everywhere I look. Turtles in Time. That's another game that I really, really want to get.
yeah, that's going to cost you probably north of, I would say, $60
Yeah.
now. You can find it. I will also recommend there is a remake of that game. Now it won't look the same. It's going to look updated, but for the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, there's a Turtles in Time. It's like remastered or reshelled or something like that. It's fun, but it won't give you the same feels that the original cartridge will. But yeah, that's one of those games that is worth a lot of money.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
is.
So are you going to get it?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, you should. It's a great game.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite games, and I used to love playing in the arcade too.
Absolutely, I love throwing the ninjas to the
Yes.
Foot Clan towards the screen.
Oh, that
it
was
just
fun.
looks so awesome.
Yeah.
Just, coming out of your face, it was awesome. Yeah, great game.
So overall, you would agree that games from our childhood tend to be a little bit more difficult than games we see now, right?
Any video game player would say that's
Yeah.
the case. Yeah.
And do you think it's because there's less to it in theory with controlling, like with less buttons and everything, or what do you think the reason is?
No, it's because video games are much more mass appeal now. They are looking to have the kids playing along with the grown-ups and along with the teenagers, and they're looking to sell games as opposed to make great games.
Makes perfect sense.
That's kind of why they do that, I think.
Thank you, Rob, for answering all my questions.
Anytime you have a question about video games, I'm your man, Travis.
I'm probably going to need questions on how to beat some of those Super Mario World levels.
My pleasure.
Awesome. I'm going to need it.